All right, welcome back to Main Street Living. Since we are talking back to school today, I have been reflecting and I'm realizing that a lot of my teachers said, Danielle, you have an opinion on everything. Can you guys relate?
No.
Absolutely. Yes, there is nothing wrong with that. We all have opinions, but have you ever wondered if it really matters? And our next guest is going to help answer that question. And he is the CEO of TruePublic. His name is Kaben Clausen. Thank you for joining us today on
Hi, thank you.
Yeah,
Great
thanks
to
for
be
being
here.
here. So tell us about TruePublic and how exactly do you find out what's on our minds?
Yeah, it's really the TruePublic app and website platform. People all across America share their opinions on their political views, their life, their dating, their health. And really, as coronavirus has taken over, the effects of that have been a huge part of the conversation on TruePublic. And we have a team of researchers and data scientists that help us understand America in a really unique way. And we're able to reach people that are very hard to reach, young people, people across different parts of the country. And it's been fascinating to watch the data unfold as this crisis has happened.
Yeah, and there's a huge debate ongoing right now, as I know you know, about kids
Yeah.
going back to school. Should they be in the classroom? Should they be virtual? What have you learned?
Yeah. One of the most fascinating things has been the total shift. So when COVID first started, very few people would have dreamed that we'd be canceling school all the way in the
Mm.
fall. And in fact, we've been tracking the data. And what happened in June was so interesting. In June, there was a shift across the country. Whereas the majority of parents had always been saying that they wanted their kids to go back, suddenly that number shifted. And now today, it's over half of parents that don't want their kids to go back to school this fall. And that's funny about that because that's in the face of so many challenges. In fact, so many parents feel like we see the comments on TruePublic. They feel very lost trying to like learn algebra again, frankly. It's hard.
Oh
And
gosh, that sounds
yeah,
like a disaster and a nightmare all at the same time.
right. And there's so many distractions at the home for young people and their parents. And the learning outcomes are worse. But what happened was the reality of COVID had taken over. And for the first time, we saw, hey, they actually don't want to go back to school. And it's
Mm.
the parents as well.
Yeah, and what else have you learned that might have been interesting?
Yeah, one of the things that has been, I think, one of the tragedies. There's a health tragedy that's obvious. There's a
Mhm.
financial tragedy that's obvious. There's relationship tragedies, but
Mm.
really, there's also like a career and trajectory challenge. Young people across this country, particularly the ones we polled that are going to be seniors in high school or going to college, it's such a bummer for them. So many plans are being canceled. Study abroad programs have been decimated as over half of young Americans who have had a study abroad program have already canceled. And what we're seeing is like, wow, the world is changing perhaps permanently for all these people. And another big thing that's happening that's I think is so interesting is college. Do you pay full price if you're e-learning? It's so expensive, but if I'm not going to a classroom, if I can't have that campus life, do I need to pay at some schools, $30,000, $40,000 a semester? It's a real
Oh yeah.
question, I think.
I'd probably take the semester or the year off because I mean that's the whole
Right.
reason, I went away to college. I wanted that experience. And what else are students saying about all this?
Yeah, the one of the biggest things they're missing is a lot of them feel like their academic progress is harmed. And we're seeing that even in the work from home data. Uh, People are actually happier working from home, but they're less productive.
Mhm.
Similarly, in schools, they're not as happy doing school from home. They're missing their friends, but the productivity has plummeted. They're really, the parents are concerned, but I think the students are even more concerned than the parents because the students are like, wow, a new appreciation for teachers has really developed, which has been an interesting byproduct of this. Is so many young people maybe, when we looked at our data, the amount of young people who approved of their teachers was always, hovering in like the 30s and 40%. It's almost doubled since people have not been able to go see their teachers. Is there's a new appreciation across the country to be like, hey, these people are able to teach me in a really effective way versus mom and dad who try to look over my shoulder on my algebra project. The comments on TruePublic around that have been hilarious as so many young Americans, thousands of them across the country, are sharing their stories of how their at-home learning experience has been in some ways a disaster.
Yeah, so we're not alone. We're all in this together. I know we hear that all the time,
Yeah.
but now we are appreciating teachers and there's so much more we could talk about, but where can our viewers go to see more of these results and learn more?
The best way to do it is to download TruePublic on iPhone or Android. It's a great way to anonymously share how you're doing, views are on life, and instantly see how you compare based on race, gender, political leaning. There's so much interesting information there. And it's really a great community now more than ever. As we're all isolated, TruePublic is a great way to find out, hey, what's going on with everybody out there?
And your opinion matters. My opinion matters. Everybody's matters. So thank you so much again for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.